everyone. Let's welcome in karate's bad boy himself, the one and only Sean Kanan.
How you doing, brother? Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. I've been bugging you for over a year for this, and I am totally excited.
Like I said, persistence pays off.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. So I guess I'll start out by saying, what got you into acting?
What got me into acting? I'll give you the kind of the longer answer, which I actually go into in the new book, which is going to be the sequel to Way of the Cobra, which is going to be called Welcome to the Kumite. And I talk about how, initially as a young kid, I was bullied a lot. And the movie theater for me was like a safe haven. It was like an oasis. And, it was there that I met my first mentors. Clint Eastwood as the outlaw Josie Wales taught me about, calm and cool. And Rocky Balboa taught me about, fighting back when you're the underdog. And Obi-Wan Kenobi talked about mindfulness. And, these guys were not only my first mentors, but they planted the seeds for me wanting to become an actor because, looking up at the flickering screen 30 feet high, film is such a powerful image. And I was so affected by it. And as I got older, I realized that as much as I love acting and entertaining people, which I do, really, I didn't get into acting because I wanted to have a voice or I wanted to express myself, although those are all parts of it. I really got into acting because I wanted to influence people in a positive way. I wanted to inspire them and to inspire the world. And like I said, as I've gotten older, what I've realized is that acting is only one conduit to which I can do that. I also hopefully do it through my writing and my teaching and my coaching and my public speaking. And I think that everybody has got a calling. Everybody's got a dharma, which is that thing that they're meant to do, that's instilled in them from the universe. And it's up to us to figure out what it is. And mine, I thought initially was acting, but in reality, my dharma is to inspire people, to be a teacher, and acting is one of the ways I do it.
So what would you say some of your favorite roles are? Give me 5.
5 favorite roles. I find something that I really like about almost everything that I've done. So, Karate Kid 3, obviously it gave me, international recognizability. It's a part of such an amazing, it's part of such an amazing fandom. And that's amazing, but that's not why I really love Karate Kid 3. I love Karate Kid 3 because of almost dying while I filmed it and having to fight my way back into not only the film, but into life. And so for me, that's why that film is so special. I made another film that very few people saw, but I wrote it and Lionsgate distributed it, and it was called Chasing Holden. And that had been a dream of mine to make for a very, very long time. And I eventually did get it made and was one of the actors in it and the executive producer and the writer. It's about a young kid who runs away from boarding school to find J.D. Salinger, who wrote Catcher in the Rye. That's got a very special place for me. Bold and the Beautiful has a very special place for me. I'm the only actor that's ever played Deacon Sharp. It's absolutely one of the best work experiences that I've ever had in my career. And I really love playing that role. Studio City, my show that's an Emmy Award-winning show on Amazon Prime. And if people haven't seen it, please, I'm beseeching you, go watch it. Okay, it's been my baby for 15 years. I finally got it made. I play the lead character, Sam Stevens, who is an aging soap opera star, starring on the #2 soap opera in the world. And it's sort of a show within a show. And we were nominated for 16 Emmys our first year, and we won 3. And it's just something that's so close to my heart. I do have to apologize in advance. There is a 99-cent fee for every one of the episodes, and that was not our choice. Amazon was going to get rid of all the short form content And the show is, they're like 15 to 17 minutes, the shows. And so rather than get rid of all of them, they slapped a 99-cent fee on all of them. They didn't even tell us they were doing it. And I promise you that I'm not building my house in Malibu from the revenue I get from the 99 cent. But I really start with season 1. There's 11 episodes in season 1, and there's 6 new episodes that just came out. And we're really excited because we won our category for the daytime Emmys last year. The daytime Emmys, for some reason, I don't know why, chose to eliminate that category. And so this year we're competing in the primetime Emmys, which is really exciting for us. So I think that's 5. Or 4. Let me see if I can give you one more. I did 2 films with Bruce Willis last year, and I grew up with Bruce. I mean, Die Hard, and he's such an icon, and to be able to work with him in a couple of his final films was a real honor, and something that I'm very kind of check the box as an actor. Kind of like a bucket list as an actor. There's certain people that I really wanted to work with, and he's one of them.
So is it actually true that when you were filming Karate Kid 3, you already were experienced in martial arts?
Yeah, I had started studying Shotokan karate when I was about probably 14, 15 years old. And I studied for several years. And then over the years, once I got the role, I began training with Pat Johnson, who was the fight coordinator for all the Karate Kid movies, and Master Fumio Demura. And I've studied martial arts off and on at different points in my life. Actually, lately have been studying quite a bit. Studied a lot with Daryl Vidal, who was in the Karate Kid. It's something that is a very important part of my life, and had a profound effect on my life, and hopefully will always have a part in my life. So
I've heard this rumor, and I'm wondering if it's true. Did you really back Ralph Macchio into a corner to get the part?
Well, I wouldn't say I backed him in a corner to get the part. I had to do a scene with him, which was during the screen test, and they had built a set, and there was Ralph. And you got to realize, I was a guy that bought a ticket to go see the Karate Kid. I was a guy that bought a ticket to go see the Karate Kid 2. And then there's Ralph Macchio. And, he was already obviously a big star. He had done the Karate Kid films. He had done The Outsiders. I had to kind of pinch off my excitement and my sort of fanboy, and realize that if I was going to get this job, I had to, I had something I had to do, and they wanted me to intimidate him. So I just kind of threw a downward block and moved forward to him in a front stance, and just kept backing him up into a corner, key-eyeing. And it seemed to work. He's like, call him off. And then I thought, oh my God, did he think that I went full psycho, and this is not a guy that he wants to have on the set? And then after a moment, he kind of broke into a smile. So I knew it was okay.
I mean, I would have loved to have been there for that. I know originally, I can't remember the actor's name, John Avildsen.
Jonathan Avildsen, who played Snake.
He was supposed to originally play Mike Barnes at first, wasn't he?
Well, he screen tested for it. I know that. I don't know if he was going to wind up playing him, but he did screen test for him. They actually wound up hiring someone else other than me. And the guy worked for about a week, and it just didn't work out. And so they remembered me and brought me back in. And, sometimes being second choice is, it works out for you.
You think Mike could beat Johnny in a fight?
Do I think Mike could beat Johnny in a fight? I get asked that question a lot. I mean, I don't know. I think that based upon the information we have from the Karate Kid universe, Johnny was he was the All Valley champion. Mike was a national champion. Big difference. So, but how would it go now? I don't know. We don't know if Mike has continued with his martial arts. We do know that Johnny is, a sensei who's kept up with his. So I don't know. I mean, Johnny Lawrence would certainly be a pretty formidable opponent. But then again, so was Mike.
And now I only read this on IMDb. I don't know how true it is. Is it true you improv the entire scene where he was yelling at Daniel at the very end of the movie? Like, get on that line.
I improv'd about 98% of it. There were a couple things in it which I didn't improv, which John Avildsen actually told me to say, and honestly, some of them were the racial, the derogatory racial slurs that I made towards Mr. Miyagi, and look, that's who the character was. I mean, we live in a very sort of PC woke environment, but that was a character who was clearly a sociopath, and but I think in retrospect, if I had to do it again, and if I really had the choice, I probably, I don't know if I would have done that again. The thing about it is, though, that I think that was part of what really scared Daniel, because Mr. Miyagi was such an amazing, respected guy. To hear someone talk about him that way, who had no fear of talking about him that way, I think really cut to the core of Daniel, and was part of what really was paralyzing him with fear up until the moment when Mr. Miyagi says, your best karate's still inside. Now time to let out. And so I think it actually worked.
Yeah, he's saying the karate's a joke. He's a phony. Which you notice in the Cobra Kai episodes, they took all the racial stuff out. Thank God,
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think you need it. I think there's ways of being intimidating and scary without having to, drop to that level, whether it's a character or not. But the reality is that there are individuals in life who that's how they act. And, I think in film and in television, there are times when it makes sense to represent that, that negativity that does exist. It's not like it's being held up as, hey, this is a really great way to act and is the essence of martial arts. No, this was, for me, Mike Barnes epitomized absolutely the worst qualities of someone who studies martial arts. The way that I was trained, and I continue to train in the Genbukai Dojo in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, which is an organization run by Fumio Demura, who was Pat Morita's stunt double. What I learn is about as close to Miyagi-Do as there is, which is ironic because I played a guy who fought the guy who studied Miyagi-Do, but
I played the bad boy.
yeah.
Well, in all fairness, I think that a lot of Kreese and Terry Silver's, way that they talked kind of rubbed off on Mike. So,
sure, yeah, let's go with that.
Mike, we'll just say that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that was actually kind of amazing that you improv most of that on the fly. That screaming scene.
Yeah.
Would you say you're a method actor, or?
No, I wouldn't say I'm really a method actor. I would say that I do definitely. I think I have a strong facility for improv. I do stand-up comedy. I'm used to performing in front of live audiences, but also I'm also a writer, and so I'm always coming up with 5 or 6 different alternatives to what's scripted, so that if something's not working, I've got something to go to. No, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm a method actor, although I do significant research on whatever part that I'm doing. And, I read something Sean Penn said once, and I kind of agree with it. I don't believe if you're playing a French character, you have to come home and speak French to your dog after you leave the set. Of course, I'm also not Daniel Day-Lewis, so maybe I'm wrong. But, for me and for what I do, I've got my process, which is very specific to me, as every actor does. And, I do what works for me.
Now, my next question is, I want to talk about Way of the Cobra.
Okay.
Can you tell a little bit about what it's about, for my viewers to the people who haven't read it? Because I may
Sure.
have
Well,
read it.
I just happen to have a copy of it right here. Go figure. Yeah, right there. So, Way the Cobra is a motivational self-help book. It's structured that I'm the sensei and you're a student in my dojo, the dojo of Cobra Life. Cobra is an acronym. It's formed from the words character, optimization, balance, respect, and abundance. And these are this is the philosophy I live by, the strategies I use to have achieved some of my success, to have overcome some major obstacles in my life. The tagline for the book is Unleash Your Inner Badass. And everybody has one. Everyone has an inner badass that they have either, you're either in tune with it, which is great. You haven't discovered it yet, which I'll show you how to do it, or it's gotten neglected along the way and it needs to be dusted off. But people have had just monumental paradigm shifts in their life with the book. It's really formed an enormous community across the globe. And it's a fun read. It's got great information, and it's not a book specifically for Karate Kid Cobra Kai fans, but if you are a Karate Kid Cobra Kai fan, you certainly will enjoy it maybe just a little bit more. And you can get it at wayofthecobra.com if you'd like to get an autographed copy, or you can get it on Kindle or Amazon.
And there will be a link in my description for that book.
Thank you.
So is there any memories, that you would like to talk about for Karate Kid 3, Mike Barnes?
Any memories? It was just such an amazing experience to have as a young actor. This was a role that everybody in Hollywood wanted. It was a kind of a star-making role. Prior to that, I had done a small guest star role on television, and then suddenly I'm starring in a major studio film. It was a life-changing experience for me on many, many different levels. And it's amazing to me that after all this time, that the role has some relevance to it, that people are still interested in it. And I'm just flattered and humbled. And, the Karate Kid Cobra Kai fans have been so wonderful to me. And I've had the chance to meet so many of you, at Comic-Cons and at events and things like that. And just almost to a person, they're terrific people. And, I was one of you, because remember, like I said, I grew up watching the Karate Kid and Karate Kid 2. So I get it. I know what it's like to be a fan. And I think I still carry a lot of that with me. So it's just so much fun for me to interact and hear all the sometimes crazy, ideas that they have about, what may or may not happen on Cobra Kai or whatever became of Mike Barnes. And I love it. So I'm very, very appreciative.
I do notice you like to troll a little bit on there.
Troll's a big word.
Oh, come on. There's nothing wrong with having a sense of humor about things.
Exactly. You got to have a sense of humor, right?
Toying with people, it's kind of fun. It's kind of enjoyable.
Well, you got to understand, man, I get asked probably 500 times a week if I'm going to be on Cobra Kai, and I can't answer the question. So, after a while, when you're asked the same question over and over again, and I understand, and again, I'm flattered by everybody's desire to know, I got to come up with some unique and fun ways to kind of give it back.
Kind of like the one where, I edited your face over Darth Vader for Tori.
Love that. Yeah, I love it.
I couldn't resist that. I am the father. I'm like, is this really what you all?
I love it. I keep thinking about, just for fun, putting out a book at some point. Just I put it out for free. Just kind of a book of all the fan art that I've received and all the memes and things like that people have put together, because they're just some great ones. And some of the artwork that people have come up with has been fantastic. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put it out as a digital book and just figure out a way that people can download it or something. I think it'd be a lot of fun for the fans.
I think some of the work that I can't remember Be Creative. I think it's what
let's be water.
Man,
Yeah,
their work.
It's incredible. His name is Mark. It's one guy. His name is Mark Kerr, and he is just an unbelievable artist, man. He comes up with some amazing stuff, these mashups of characters that that maybe haven't worked together before. Just beautiful pieces.
So I honestly feel that there was more scenes that were cut out of Karate Kid 3 with Mike, especially in the training scenes. Is that a true thing, or?
Yeah, I think, as I look back on it, there were some scenes that we just did some other drills, things like that. I'm trying to think what else. It was nothing too nothing that you're going to see it and go, oh wow, I really wish they put that in there. Most of my stuff remained in the film. I didn't really have a firm understanding of how films were made back then, so I wasn't kind of mentally cataloging what I shot versus what I shot and made it into the film. So I'm kind of hard pressed to think what scenes I might have. I don't think there are any dialogue heavy scenes that I shot that didn't make it into the film.
I just noticed there was only that one training montage, and it was just you basically punching a board and stuff like that.
No, I broke the bricks. I was punching the pads. Gave Dennis a pretty good chop.
Oh yeah.
There was a couple things in there.
But I feel like there was supposed to be more, to show us how, much of a beast Mike actually was.
I think it would have been kind of fun if they did sort of like a retrospective of Mike's knockouts from the tournament circuit. That could have been kind of fun, where maybe Terry Silver was showing him, this is what you're up against. That would have been kind of fun.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a reverse version of that, him putting Daniel's photo on the dummy and saying, break his bones.
Yeah.
Which, I'm one of the crazy people that think Karate Kid 3 is the best one. And it's basically because of the performances that went on. I mean, the chemistry between you, Thomas Ian Griffith, and Martin Coe was just a pretty good dynamic. And what's sad is Martin isn't even in the movie that much.
Well, the reason why he wasn't in the movie, because he was doing a television series for Disney called Doing Time on Planet Earth. And he was playing an alien who was on Earth. And so he couldn't get out of his contract with Disney, apparently. And so they completely rewrote Karate Kid 3, as I understand it. I don't think Terry Silver was ever supposed to be in it. I don't even know if Mike Barnes was. And, it was supposed to be all about John Kreese. And when he wasn't able to participate, at that level, I think at that point they rewrote the film. And I think that caused a lot of the things that people sometimes bring up as being problematic with the film were a function, I believe, of production issues that had to be solved very quickly due to Marty's schedule. So if I understand why people have issues, Ralph has huge issues with Karate Kid 3. He's been very vocal about the fact that he didn't like it. And, I can understand that. I can see that there were issues in it.
It could have been the ass kicking that he was getting on screen a few times.
Yeah. I think a lot of people too think that, it should have been the second one and 2 should have been 3.
Yeah, I see that too, but I kind of like that 3 was the final note for Cobra Kai and Daniel to end on. It's like,
right.
Well, Cobra Kai's done, and then now Cobra Kai starts over, and
right.
We see that the dojo's back, and it's not just because of Johnny. There's older ghosts in his mind that's terrifies him even more so.
Right.
Like, if you watch the first few seasons of Cobra Kai, he doesn't even want to mention Mike or Terry Silver.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure it had a pretty scarring effect on him. How could it not?
I think in general, the movie is about, straight trauma. I mean, that's pretty much what it's about. And it's about Daniel trying to overcome that trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know the tagline says from student to teacher, from man to man, but I think it's really Daniel trying to stand up on his own. And honestly, right. Mike was one of the more dangerous of the characters that he had to go up against.
For sure. Yeah. I think definitely going up against Mike probably was instrumental in Daniel's ability to defeat Chosen in a, life and death match.
And now I have one final question before we close out. Are you going to be in Cobra Kai?
Tim, did you really think that I was going to answer that? Come on. I can't answer that, brother. All I can say is this.
I know. I just couldn't resist the troll.
I know. I just keep watching, guys. Just keep watching. I think I think season 5 is going to be really special.
Yeah, I think so too. And I hope a couple of those old friends come back.
You never know. You never know who might pop up.
Anyway, I had to troll you. I'm sorry.
You're not the first, and you certainly won't be the last, brother.
Anyway, I want to say thank you so much for coming on and just chatting about Karate Kid 3, your other roles, and your book.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Like I said, I hope that everybody will get the book. There's just amazing transformative information in it. If you'd like to get it, you can get it at wayofthecobra.com or Amazon or Kindle. And once again, I just want to say thank you, Tim, and thank you to all your viewers and to everybody who's been so supportive of me and Mike Barnes. And it's just one more thing I wanted to say before I go. Oh, yeah, now I remember. Hey, Tim, your karate's a joke.
No!